Gamers, how's it going? We have another deck showcase for you. This is going to be to showcase some of the decks that I'm not going to be covering on the channel. I don't really like building decks that I don't want to play anymore. I feel like it makes me hate the game, so I'm trying to not do that, and instead we can thank the wonderful people in the Master Duel Central Discord for sending lists and replays so that we can showcase decks that I'm not going to be covering. For example, I don't really want to play Gimmick Puppet. I don't care for Gimmick Puppet. I don't like it. It's an FTK deck. But, you know, we got to show the FTK somewhere on the channel. It is Master Duel Central. It would be wrong not to show the new, probably best FTK in the game. So we're going to be showcasing some Gimmick Puppet in this video. We're also going to be showing, you know, probably some builds of White Forest that I haven't shown. There's so many variants of this deck right now. So there's definitely going to be some stuff that we can show that I haven't shown already in the deck profiles. We're going to be showcasing Trickstar. You know, shout out Mazinger. I think there's maybe like 3 people that want to play this, but it's going to be in the video. It's going to be covered. And before we check out those replays, if you haven't already, maybe hit the like and subscribe. It would be pretty cool to get to like 25,000 subs by the summer. I think that's like very realistic, but I haven't been asking for subs a lot in my videos, and I probably should be asking more. I'm just gonna let's go. All right, and the first one that we're gonna do is Gimmick Puppet, because I feel like this one is very important to showcase on the channel in some form, but it's also very straightforward. It's an FTK combo. It's pretty damn linear. So yeah, this is coming in from Mazinger. Shout out Mazinger, by the way. I think he probably submitted like half the decks that we're going to showcase today. But here we go. So starting off with Gearsu, sending the Orcust Crescendo, summoning a token, going into a Gimmick Puppet Chimera doll. Oh, is this like an alternative line? Going Orcust Crescendo in the grave to grab a Scissor Arms. Then we can go for Chimera doll, grab the Gimmick Puppet Little Soldiers, normal summon the Little Soldiers, send the Puppet Rouge doll. Okay, so I guess we're doing the FTK without the field spell. So reveal an XCs, summon herself as well as the I forgot his name. Anyway, whatever. We go into the Fantasix Mechanics, detach the Scream. That's what it is, Cattle Scream, right? And we search our rank up magic. Go into Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Gimmick Puppet of Strings is going to trigger on summon, and then we're going to trigger our graveyard effect of the Cattle Scream to summon it back. Go into a Gimmick Puppet of Strings, not CXCs. We get to add back our rank up magic. Go for the Gimmick Puppet of Strings here, detach a material, give a bunch of stuff string counters, and then we can summon Gimmick Puppet of Strings, the C40 version, and we can pop these cards, get a nice little burn, use the graveyard effect of the Fantasix to bring it back on the field. So we summon back our Fantasix Mechanics to the opponent's field here. We get to pop both of these cards, well, all these cards actually, burn for 3,300, detach a material, get a token on this one. Then we can go, I get a counter on here. Then we can go for a Scissor Arms, dump the Puppet Fiendish Knight. Puppet Fiendish Knight can summon a monster from the grave and special summon itself. And then we can get the effect of Little Soldiers in the grave, banish it, targeting these two to go into a Giant Grinder. Interesting. So we're making it work. Whatever we got to do to make it work, we're making it work. You get a nice 15 burn here. Now all we need is a nice, just another like 3,300 burn, which I think we can definitely do. So we summon the CXC's Gimmick Puppet, grab the Service Puppet Play, CXC's Gimmick Puppet, detach a material, bring back the C40 Gimmick Puppet to the opponent's field, then go for Grinder yet again, not a once per turn. And that's another way to do the FTK. There's a more standard way using the field spell. I don't know if I've showcased it on the channel, but honestly, like, there's just so many ways to FTK with this deck, and I don't want to show every single one. This is not going to be a Gimmick Puppet deck profile. Shout out to Moz for showing an alternative line. A lot of people are probably already familiar with the field spell line, so getting an alternative line that you can do is actually really useful. If you guys want to look at the list, we can now look at lists through replays, which is amazing for me because it makes my life so much easier. So if you just want to copy the deck, this is a 50 card Horus Gimmick Puppet list with some Orcust cards. I'm not sure if this is really going to be better than just straight playing Gimmick Puppet, although to be fair, at least with this build, I'm guessing if you get your FTK, you know, negated or stopped, you can probably just shift into like playing some Orcust control, you know, with some like nice solid interruption. So I definitely could see the value in having a build that can kind of fog wall into doing something else if the FTK isn't working out. Actually, to give Moz's build more credence, I noticed that he has another replay for the deck, which is 3 turns long, by the way. So I'm guessing this one is kind of meant to showcase what you do if you don't get the FTK or if you get interrupted. So I'm just kind of curious about it. Now, he did have the field spell in hand, which means he had full FTK combo if he just considered like if his opponent had no interruption. But we are going to use our normal summon for Gearsu, which gets negated by Imperm, and I'm very curious how this goes. So we go for the field spell, grab the Gimmick Puppet Cattle Scream, discarded with the Imseti to get a search and a draw. We grab the King Sarcophagus, get to special out the Imseti, activate King Sarcophagus, discard a card, send the Happy to the grave, summon the Happy. Then with these two, we can go straight into our Fantasix Machinix. We're going to fast forward. Machinix, search the rank up spell, after which we can go for rank up spell, go into our CXC's Gimmick Puppet Machinix. Machinix is going to search a trap, the Service Puppet play. This is basically a snatch steal for multiple monsters. Summon by detaching for the Cattle Scream, go into a Nightmare Phoenix. Go into a Nightmare Mermaid using the Nightmare Phoenix. Discard the Imperm to summon... Oh, I see. So use that to summon the Orcust Nightmare. Then we can go for Galatea, shuffle back the Scream to set the Orcust Crescendo. Trigger the Orcust Nightmare in the grave, banish it, targeting the Galatea to dump the Harp Horror. Harp Horror in the grave can banish itself to summon out the Orcust Symbol Skeleton. Then we can detach a material from our CXC's Gimmick Puppet, summon out the Fanatics to the opponent's field, pop it, get a little bit of a quaint little amount of burn here just for funsies. Summon a Gimmick Puppet Chimera Doll, search the Little Soldiers. We can use our second normal summon, dump our Gimmick Puppet Dreary Doll, banish a card from the grave to summon out the Dreary Doll. Then with these two, we can go into another rank 8. We go into Giant Grinder. Then we can go for the graveyard effect of rank up and add it back to the hand. Activate Orcust Symbol Skeleton in the grave, banishing it to summon back the Galatea. I'm very confused about what we wanted to do with this Puppet Giant Grinder. I'm really not sure, honestly. But either way, our opponent goes for Sengen Summoning here. We're going to use our Orcust Crescendo. So we have Crescendo and Puppet play. So we basically have a multi-targeted... Yeah, Oh, I think the idea was literally just to get another Xyz on field, just to get more monsters that we can grab with our Snatch Steal effect. Because this grabs monsters equal to the amount of Xyz Gimmick Puppets you control. So by having the Giant Grinder, you basically can go for this trap and grab 2 monsters your opponent controls. So they're going to crash into our defense position monster here, summon out the Kaimen. We're going to go for our Gimmick Puppet effect. I didn't even realize that he could do that. Yeah, we can like pop it on summon basically, and they're just going to go for their Biden Dragon. That's fine. Biden's going to grab back, and I think this is where we want to do this. I don't know why we didn't wait for the summon here. That's kind of confusing to me. Not really sure. Because we could have grabbed 2 there, right? I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's because they could have chained and synchroed. Never mind. It made a lot of sense. That was definitely not a misplay. That made a ton of sense. But yeah, at this point, we can go for the Grinder pop. So we lived through Tenpai. That says a lot. We popped 2 monsters. We don't get any burn, but who cares? We have plenty for lethal. Another good replay from Maz. Definitely adding a lot of credence to this Orcust twist on the deck. So I'm glad that I checked out the second replay. But now we're actually going to move on. We're actually going to stop talking about Gimmick Puppet, but really interesting stuff. All right, and the next one we're going to be showcasing is coming in from Kinohara, also someone that loves to submit decks for these showcases. I really appreciate the people that make these showcases possible, so shout out to you, Kinohara. And this is going to be the Whitewoods version of Illusion, basically. Let's just go ahead here. We have Kodal activating to grab a Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws, grabbing a Chimera Fusion. Then we're going to go for Elzet, discard the Forbidden Droplet. Elzet, grab the Esteller. We're going to discard the Esteller to summon out the Nightmare Apprentice. Apprentice can search the Diabellze, the original. Then we're going to go for Chimera Fusion. Using 2 monsters, we can go into our Berphomet, and we already have Diabellze in the grave set up for later. That's awesome. So now we can go for the effect of the Berphomet, as well as the effect of the Chimera in the grave. Grab a Master Tau, the Chanter. Dump a Mirror Sword Knight, which gets us a nice monster negate on the field or in the grave. Grab back our Chimera Fusion. Go into Beatrice, since we did not use the effect of the level 5 Chimera monster. Dump the Sinful Spoils of Slumber Morian, which is basically a Book of Moon that you can set. Then we can synchro into Rusiela, since we're not locked into fusions. Grab our Tales of the White Forest, summon back the Esteller. Esteller can discard the Tales of the White Forest to summon Sylvie. Then we can trigger the Tales of the White Forest in the grave to bring it back to the field. Sylvie is going to search the Woes of the White Forest here, most likely. Yes, very good. Then we can go straight into our Diabellze, Queen of the White Forest. You can kind of see this gets pretty insane, right? We can grab back our Chimera Fusion. Now that's amazing. We can summon back our Rusia by shuffling back our level 6 Synchro. Go into Silhouette Rabbit. Set up the Azurune. So now we have Chimera Fusion for opponent's turn. We have Tales of the White Forest, add back a Nelzet for follow-up later. Set the woes, trigger the graveyard effect of Sinful Spoils of Slumber Morian, which allows us to just set it if we control a level 5 or higher illusion monster. And so we get a Book of Moon effect. We get to dump the Subduel here with the Beatrice. Because our opponent activated an effect, we can summon a level 2 tuner from our extra deck with the Diabellze, so we'll be able to go into a Baron. I mean, this is a ton of interruption. Honestly, just watching it in action, this is my first time seeing the Chimera White Forest build in action. It's a lot better looking than I even expected. It's honestly really, really strong. I didn't realize that it would work this well, but it's actually really solid. So here we're going for a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is I mean, interesting here. I thought we were going to go for a Baron, but Chaos Angel is really good as well. We're going to be able to banish probably their tuner or something here. That's probably, oh, just banishing the level 2. That's actually pretty good as well. And we do get the Silhouette Rabbit effect to pop our opponent's back row here since we summoned a monster from the back row. So that's really, really cool. They're going to go for Tales of the White Forest to grab a Elzet. Makes a lot of sense. Now they're going to go for Elzet effect, dumping the Piri Raise map, and grabbing a Rusia. We're going to go for the Sinful Spoils of Slumber to flip down their level 2. Now they pretty much can't get a level 2 on the field unless they figure out a way to bring back... No, their Stellar's banished. Actually, yeah, they really can't. They're going to go to Anaconda. This is the inferior way to summon Dragoon in the deck, but that's fine. We're going to negate the special summon with our Azurune and call it a day. We didn't even need to summon the Elzet. Man, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad, honestly. But, yeah, still, honestly, that was an awesome showcase of a really interesting White Forest variant. So I'm happy we got to show it. I honestly kind of want to try it now. I didn't think it would work that well. I'm kind of impressed. It is kind of crazy. White Forest just keeps looking better and better to me. It really seems like, even though none of it is one-card combos, the engine just seems to gel so well with so many decks. So it's a 45-card list. And yeah, we're running a good amount of one-ofs here. Maybe a bit more than I would like, to be honest. Like, this is crazy. Like, come on. Both of these, nah, chill with the one-ofs. Okay, look, this is not a deck list review per se, but I would not be running that many one-ofs. That's a little crazy. But the list does look good. No Maxi. We're gonna move on. All right, and actually I did get a just a pure Chimera list with the Diabellze from Top Bulldog, so I do want to showcase that, especially since we did not see Diabellze get really summoned in that last one. So I am going to include this one as well here, just to show it really in action. So we have Nightmare Apprentice hitting the field, discarding a Polymerization, grabbing a Codal. We're going to fast forward a bit here. So Codal, discard, search the Gazelle, summon the Mirror Sword Knight, summon the Gazelle, search Big Wing Berfomet, go for Chimera Fusion, using Big Wing Berfomet as well as our Gazelle here to summon out the King of Phantom Beasts. Get a couple of chain blocks here, summon out the Mirror Sword Knight, trigger the discard effect for opponent's hand at end phase. We can go to our Beatrice, send to the grave our Archfiend Heres, which searches Simul Archfiends. Wait, that's new. Archfiend Heres, if this card is sent to the grave because of a card effect, you can add an Archfiend card from deck to hand. This turn, neither player can special summon monsters with the same card types they already control. Okay, so if you control a synchro monster, for example, you can't use a tuner and go into another synchro, which kind of stops like a Bident play, for example, like a Bident dragon play or something. Okay, that's really interesting. I've never seen this card before. This is really cool. Anyway, so we're going for the Chimera Fusion here. Chimera Fusion summoning out the Berfomet to dump, get the Tau effect to summon Codal. That's really good. So summon Codal, dump the Diabellze for later. And we're going to be able to use the Diabellze in grave and summon it out. Set up the Azurune with the Silhouette Rabbit. And we get a discard from opponent's hand. They're playing Runick. Diabellze is going to be crazy this matchup. We get the Beatrice effect yet again to send a card to the graveyard here. We're sending a Barrier Statue. Summoning out the Angel statue here, the Azurune. And we're going to summon out our Diabellze from the grave. Our opponent already sees, oh my god, Diabellze shuts off our entire strategy. It literally shuts off our entire strategy. We have to just, you know, shotgun all our flash spells right now because we won't be able to play after. They go for a, I don't know if they went for a summon here, but we're going for Max C, which is interesting. So either way, Freezing Curses resolves. They're going to get a couple of banishes. We get to summon out our Chimera. They're going to go for a Hugin. Okay, going for a Hugin here. We get a draw. Very solid. And here is Diabellze. Diabellze is going to make this unplayable for our opponent, honestly. Chimera, has been getting really, really good. I'm honestly starting to think Chimera might unironically be a top 5 deck in the game right now. I really do genuinely think that. I know it sounds crazy, but I've seen it a lot. It is really overwhelming. It's hard to deal with. And unironically, it seems to me like it's better than Branded now. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I think it might just be because Beatrice being in the game is so crazy that it makes this deck so much better. But yeah, I genuinely think so. I genuinely think this deck is just insane. All right, so our opponent is playing the Runick variant, actually, of this one. Oh my god. This is going to be a disaster. It's really going to be a disaster. All right, so Mirror Sword Knight here to negate the Rusia. Yeah, earlier we were not negating the Hugin. We were just using the summon effect. My bad. They're going to go for a Silvera Wolf Tamer here, which is like, it's good, but the trap alone just kind of shuts you off. Oh no, well you can... Oh my god, we're going to try to edge. Are we really going to try to edge here? Oh my god, we're edging it out. That's crazy. Summoning it an SP, giving our opponent 1,000,000 draws for an SP. That's pretty good. Banishing the Diabellze. No, dude. No, dude. Okay, this has been a pretty goofy replay. At this point, so it's turn 3 now. Top Bulldog did tell me that he BMs this game after he already won. So I don't know what kind of BM we're talking about here. Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah, we don't need to watch Top Bulldog BM anyone. He decisively won this game. It's all good. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. But we're gonna check out the list here. Bro is BMing. Let's check out the list. This was really insane. This was really crazy. Honestly, I really think Chimera's just... Maybe I'm crazy. Like, top 5, maybe I'm crazy. But I struggle to think of a lot of decks that are better than this. Like, yeah, I'm convinced Yubel is better. Obviously, Tenpai is better. But, like, after that, it starts to be a debate, honestly. Because, like, I feel like Labyrinth and Chimera, you could debate either. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Let me know. I want to know your guys' take on that. Am I crazy? Or is Chimera actually like secretly insane in this game right now? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. But from my experience in ladder, this is one of the scarier decks for me to face. Genuinely. Like, genuinely. And I'll tell you right now, I'm more scared of this than I am of Snake Eyes. Like, honestly, it's weird. Meta's changed a lot. It's really hard to put a pin on the meta right now. All right, let's switch it up a bit. You guys are probably familiar at least a little bit with the last decks that we showcased. So now we're going to showcase something that we don't really see in Master Duel, which is Trickstar. I don't think this deck is going to be making much of a splash, but Mazinger did provide a Trickstar profile and deck. Deck and replay. So we're going to check it out. So we're starting off here with the Candina, and now the recently put to 3 Trickstar Light Stage is going to be activated to search a Trickstar hoodie. We can go into our Kolika, and we can trigger the hoodie. It's an extender, basically, special from the hand. Go into Trickstar Bloom. Then we can go for the graveyard effect of hoodie to search Trickstar Fusion. Activate Trickstar Fusion using a Trickstar in hand as well as our Bloom on the field. We can go into our Band Dramatist, and we can add a Trickstar card from deck to hand. We add the Trickstar Reincarnation. And I do believe there's a... Oh my goodness, that is an artwork and a half, and that's a good animation. Yeah, this card banishes your opponent's entire hand and makes them draw the same number of cards, but I think there's a lock you can do with this of some kind because I've lost to this a couple times. But either way, summoning back a couple of cards here, going into the Nightmare Goblin, recently unbanned. Finally seeing this card, so we get to see our opponent's hand here. They're playing Tenpai. We're going to go into a Nightmare Mermaid. Are we doing the whole line here? Discard the World Wand, go into the Orcust Nightmare, trigger the graveyard effect of our fusion spell to add back the Candina, use these two to go into a Galatea. Then we can trigger the Orcust Nightmare in the grave, banish it, targeting the sorry, I forgot her name. Oh my god, Galatea. Go for Harp Horror, set up the Orcust Crescendo, Harp Horror, banish, special from deck, the Girsu, send another Orcust Nightmare, go for World One, banish, target the Harp Horror, go into a Savage Dragon, very cool. Savage Dragon, a couple of set cards here. So we're going for Trickstar Reincarnation. They're going to go for Droplet right away, discarding 2. Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's a pretty smart response to Trickstar Reincarnation, I would say. So banish, and they get 3 draws. That's interesting. So they're going to go for Sangan Summoning. We're going to go for Orcust Crescendo on the Sangan Summoning. We don't have the Omni Negate of our Borload Savage Dragon because of Droplet, but honestly, we're pretty well set up. Maiden of Blue Tears negates a summon if we control a link. Now we don't. Get the graveyard effect of Trickstar Reincarnation. Oh, We get back our normal angel, so we do control a link, so we'll be able to negate a special summon. We have our imperm. We're all set up. We're all good to go. I like this. I like this because it seems like you can kind of turn Trickstar into like some cool kind of mid-rangey type of combo deck, which is definitely a more interesting playstyle to me than the way Trickstar was traditionally played before. So I'm a big fan of this. I think it's a pretty interesting, you know, way to play the deck, and it definitely makes it a lot less cringe to me. Also, that animation on the link is kind of nice. It's kind of hitting. So anyway, let's check out the list here real quick. By the way, so far all the lists that I've seen here are linked in my Discord with a Master Duel meta link. So I will be copying all those links and putting them in the description of this video. So if you want to copy a list and you don't know the names of certain cards in the decks, don't worry about it. You can just check the links in the description. Most of the decks, if not all of them, are going to have a Master Duel meta deck list link that you can look at. But yeah, here's the list. I don't know how to, like, I don't know. I'm going to guess this is the most optimal goated god tier build that you could have for this deck. I'm just going to assume that because I don't know anything about Trickstar and I don't want to start pretending that I do. But yeah, looks good to me. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree? Moving on. All right, and next up here, coming in from Pit to Solves, we have a build of White Forest that a lot of people love, which is the Runick variant. Now, unfortunately, I'm not super convinced about this variant just because I feel like Runick has been so tremendously nerfed in Master Duel that it really doesn't feel worth playing. And honestly, White Forest, at least in my experience, has been doing really good with Centurion, has been doing quite good even like Pura with the Toy Box engine. Like, it seems like there's a lot of good builds actually for White Forest within the game right now. It's actually not nearly as mid as I expected. It's actually quite good. So, you know, I don't really feel like they need the Runick build, but I'm willing to let Pit to Solves convince me otherwise. So I want to see the deck in action. We're going to show it here. If I love it, I might even make a deck profile for it. So let's see. Starting off here, we're going to go for an Elzet, discard our skill drain to search our Sylvie. Normal to Sylvie to search probably the Tails. Yes, Tails of the White Forest. Go right into an Arciella. Arciella is going to probably discard the Tails here, get to set it back, search the Woes. Very good stuff. Tails gets set back. Now we're going to go for Rusia. Rusia, discard the Woes, get a draw. Woes in the grave, set itself. Then we can go for our Runick Dispelling, discard a card, search our Runick Fountain, activate Runick Fountain. Use these two here to go into a Diabellze Queen, and we can grab back our skill drain, set our skill drain. Very nasty stuff. Use these two here to go into a Baguska. Oh my goodness, we're passing on skill drain Baguska. Very cool. That's cool, man. Very cool. All right. So yeah, now we're gonna go into an SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight, target our opponent's back row here. Then we can go for Rusia effect, get a draw, set the Tails, search the Elzet, send the Tails with the send the Woes, I mean, with the Elzet to search Rusia again. Set the trap. So we're running multiple Rusias. That's crazy. Tri-Edge Master gets a draw. We still haven't seen a single Runick card, which you know. Here we go. Woes. And we chain our SP. They're going to go for a Rusia. Discard to get a draw. Then they're going to set up Tails. Activate Tails. Search the Elzet. Elzet send the Cicerus of the Sinful Spoils to the grave. Summon a Silvera to flip everything face down. We're just going to go for a Droplet. Send the Diabellze to the grave. Negate that boy. Go for Sylvie here. Shuffle back to summon Sylvie. Add back the Elzet to the hand. Go for Woes. Summon this level 2 from the hand. Go into our own Silvera. Flip our opponent's board face down. They're going to go for a Nightmare Apprentice. Oh my goodness. What a duel. What a duel. So earlier we saw Illusion Whitewoods destroy Runick, and now we're seeing Runick destroy Illusion Whitewoods. There's a bit of a rivalry going on here between these two builds, it seems. Okay, so our opponent landed Diabellze, but it's obviously negated by skill drain, so that's not going to be doing too much. Going into a Baron here that's also negated by skill drain. It feels like we're just trying to put up massive bodies so that we can, like, just kind of, you know, deal with the fact that we're under skill drain. Makes a lot of sense, honestly. Here we're going to go for a Rusia, send the skill drain to the grave, make our own effects live, go for Silvera. Our opponent is going to negate Silvera because they have to. Now we can go for Sylvie effect, shuffle back the Silvera, go into a Typhon. Huh? Huh? Detach to bounce the Baron. Oh my goodness. Going for Thrust, grabbing a Foolish Burial Goods, activate Triple Tactics Talents, gets 2 draws. Oh my god, we saw a Runick card. Impossible. dump a Runick card, go for a Runick Smith and Storm, and finally we get to draw 3 with our Fountain. It's only turn 5, right? Worth it. Our opponent's going to go to battle. We're going to pop their card, banish a couple more cards. They're going to scoop it up. I mean, yeah, I don't know, dude. Let's check out the list, though. I'm not going to be talking too much smack here. Let's take a look at the list. See your opponent's deck. Yeah, it's your own deck, I mean. Okay, running the Dark Ruler no more. Well, this is the one deck where it makes sense, right? Because you're not going to be going for lethal anyway. 2 copies of Talents, 2 copies of Thrust, the 1 Woes, Foolish, 15. Yeah, that's good. So 15 flash spells. That's not bad. I don't know, dude. I just don't know about this build. To me, just watching it in action, it didn't look as good as the Centurion build. I don't want to hate, though. Shout out Pit to Sauce. Thank you for submitting yet another wonderful Runick deck list. Moving on. All right, I really didn't mean for this to be a White Forest only showcase, but we have a lot. There's just too many White Forest variants, man. So we're going to end off here with something sent in from Leon. Shout out Leon. This is his first time submitting for Deck Showcase. And this is Snake Eyes White Forest. This is a very real build. I've seen it a couple of times on ladder. Don't think I've lost to it yet, but I don't think it looks bad either. I just think I need to see it, like, you know, go full combo and do its thing. We're going second against what seems to be probably White Forest Centurion, or maybe it's another build of Centurion, but right now, I think the best build of Centurion is the White Forest variants. Now, of course, we did go Max C, which means we probably win off of that. But, you know, whatever. We're going second, right? We're just going to see what happens here. Our opponent does get their Blazer. You know, we have 2 extra cards. They get a Blazer. It is what it is. We're going to start off with Elzette here, special summoned, sending to the graveyard our Tails. Tails is going to be set into the back row. We're just going to fast forward a little bit here. Our opponent's doing basic Centurion moves. They're going to go and search, make a Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon going to tag out into another level 12 Synchro. And let's see what we make here. Oh, Red Supernova. I think that's smart, actually. I think 1 Omni Negate is not enough. So summoning out a Sylvie here. They're going to go for Supernova, wiping our entire board. And now we go Diabellze, set up the Snake Eyes, original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. Go into a Snake Eye Ash. Royal, by the way. Beautiful. Search the Poplar. We go Poplar effect, special summon Poplar. Poplar, search the Divine Temple. Royal, by the way. Beautiful. We're going to set up in the back row our Snake Eyes Diabellze Star. Go Poplar in the back row off of Linkaribo. Summon Oak with Snake Eye Ash. Summon Ash with Snake Eye Oak. Go into a Snake Eyes Flamberge with the Oak. They're going to banish the Flamberge. We're going to go for the effect of Diabellze Star. Summon it by putting the Oak in the back row. Bring back our Linkaribo. Make SP. SP is made with Linkaribo, so we can banish. We set our Woes, and we pass turn. Interesting. And we get back our Flamberge. And we get to summon our Oak. And we get to summon our Poplar. This is good. This is good. They go for Trudeo. We go for SP. They go for Woes. We're going to go for our own Woes. We can summon a level 4 Tuner, go into our level 6. Using that level 4 Tuner, level 6 can flip down their Synchro, but they get to chain, but it doesn't matter because whatever they chain with will also get flipped down, so it doesn't, yeah, this is totally fine. They're going to go for Rumble here, summon from the grave, summon a Chimera, trigger the, oh yeah, they get to bring back Supernova. That is true. That is a little scary. We're going to go for the Diabellze here, summon it. Oh, we just go straight into Underworld Goddess. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That will clear it up for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. There's something going on with Snake Eyes. I don't know. I know it's still, like, it was good forever in GCG, so there's, maybe I'm tripping. It's going to be crazy with Fiendsmith. We already know that. But right now in the game, I feel like Snake Eyes is not doing that much. Like this doesn't strike me as, like, that crazy of a variant compared to the other ones. It's not that it's bad, don't get me wrong. There's obviously a lot going on here. Let's check out the list really quick. I'm very curious what this looks like. Yeah, you know, so we have a pretty big link package here. Sprint is interesting. My guess is Sprint is probably to send the one of a Stellar to the grave, just so we can summon it from the graveyard by sending a spell to the grave. And we can do that using the Snake Eyes monsters. So there is definitely, like, synergy there. Like, there is synergy between these two archetypes. There's definitely something going on here. Still solid. We're not even running Promethean Princess, which is surprising to me. I'm not really sure what the logic behind that is. Maybe it's just a question of just the toolbox being too tight. And that's with all due respect. I'm not, like, I hope this doesn't come off as disrespectful, Leon. I appreciate the submission. I think the deck is really cool. I'm just kind of, like, pondering because the format is really interesting right now. And I'm just kind of pondering where decks are located. And it's really hard for me to put a pin on it. So I'm kind of just, like, yapping to myself here, just thinking, like, man, is Snake Eyes like actually not very good right now. I think that's enough for today. We have a lot of decks showcased in the video, and I hope this was helpful to like introduce some people to a lot of different builds and different ways of playing the decks. Man, I was actually burning in that hoodie, so I had to take it off for this most important part of the video, which is the end of the video. All right, thank you.